barebe pati ni babiri bagamba fish to arufyanya. People have died. Mumino yabaka pakola. The police killing people. Why? In the same government, bagamba, abductions have happened. Bagamba, if you're not with them, it's either you're dead or you're in prison. This government, you're going to change, big man. Fish to arufyanya pakubika office. Fish to arufyanya. Why me? Missing. Achani Rubamwa Ichoan Dizona. Where is why me? HH, tell us with your government, where is why me? Give us why me. Justice for why me, big man. Wachila mo HH. Wala tupisha bega kutupisha magamba. That's why they get full and the big man. My youth, my no what that. Something to say, Bagamba! Waneza tua pwene Mujala jesu Iti ya Zambia Tua mwana mwempwa Bagamba Tua mwana mwempwa Nama abductions bagamba Owo muteko toaleta Wadulete lama Amazala mush You can take Wala ipompa today No, you can take Apa nomba bane Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wakuvota bane Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Makufuatika Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Makufuatika pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Aikona man Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Ika yako Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Yati kwenyu Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Mayona batata Mayona batata Bayuthi Tientuisuli amenso Tientuisuli amenso Batusendela nomba batwipaila na hope Yesu Endika chagwa lungu watu bela tinani kwa tila plan B Nomba tuwadishi pa plan B aba mmino ya kualesa Bantu banga wala fa mcharo chesu cha Zambia Ibanga abantu abala abducted mcharo chesu cha Zambia bambire kuri jeje banda Ibanga abantu abala ba prison Abena chitotela chilangwa Wonze baba prison netunguru shina shimbi na shimbi Muri one government ya kwa HH Abantu na abafa mweleza Aikata nomba baikata na kurietika chakwa lungu watu kwa tile plan B Apa kubo vya vyo mufulo big man Mufulo pa mufulo Bila bine matzendela etika chakwa lungu Apa nomba bane Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wakuvota bane Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wakufuatika Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wakufuatika fuatika Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Kwenyu jaya kwa kwe Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Aikona man Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Ita ya kwa kwe Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Yafuli yati kwenyu Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo HH does not mean well for Mother Zambia. Zambia to Asebana, this is not the Mother Zambia that we were left with by our ancestors, our forefathers who fought so hard to liberate us. Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, Nalumino Mundia, Mama Julia Chikamoneka, Simon Mwansaka Pwepwe, they fought so hard to put this country on the map, to put this country where it is today. No man would destroy this country because we believe in unity. One Zambia, one nation, and we shall together we will change, and we are going to change this government. My name is Blaze Zambia.
Good day and welcome to today's broadcast. Happy Sunday to all of you. I hope both on Sabbath and today you went to church and honor our Lord with your praises and worship. We thank God for his giftings and for for our lives. The movement for national renewal has issued a major policy statement and renewal charter. They're saying these are not slogans. They're saying these are not promises. They're saying promises end here. And they've outlined a path to recovery for our country, a path for renewal, and how they will tackle major sectors and how they will help shift mindsets to ensure that as a country we are back and that we do not have broken institutions and that the country must be, shifted back, refocused, reshaped, renewed. So for that policy statement, a major policy statement that has just been distributed, I thought we should host the leaders of the Movement for National Renewal. So I have John Sangwa, State Counsel, a renowned constitutional lawyer, and I have DORIKA Banda, both co-leaders. DORIKA is a financial expert, and I have had the privilege to host them separately. But today we have a double header. You are privileged to have them in one house speak to this major statement that they issued and the vision for the country. And there was a declaration that they're about to raise 1 million people. How far is that quest? Join us as we discuss the many issues as I bring DORIKA and John. Let's start with Mr. Sangwa. Welcome to today's program and good to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I know you are seated next to DORIKA. For my engineers will be doing a lot of hard work because you have to do the switches. DORIKA Banda, welcome and good to see you once again. Okay, so that's today. We will be going with both DORIKA and John for them to discuss this major policy statement that they issued. The national movement says it will attract about 1 million people target by December. Let's just find out how that is going. Are we making headways? I will start with John. Mr. Sangwa, I seem to have some brief network issues. So today we are hosting John Sangwa and DORIKA Banda, and they'll be discussing the major policy statement they issued. Is it a manifesto? What is it? Are these just mere promises? What is this a manifesto or policy statement? What is it? Oh, I see John is back. Let me start with John. Mr. Sangwa, you pledged 1 million number by December. How's the mobilization going? And just brief us on that.
Yeah, first of all, the rationale for the million. The reasoning is very simple. That need for 1 million was born out of the experience we have had in the last 61 years, where there is a general view that once you elect people, and that is the end of the story, citizens sit back and wait for those elected to deliver their promises. That kind of approach has not worked, and that is where we are. And I think that is the reason why my sister and I have decided to abandon our comfortable lives and then be able to join in the fray. We are proceeding on the premise that governing a country is not the responsibility of those elected alone. It requires the active involvement and participation of the citizens themselves. Now, the idea of 1 million is born out of that.
Mr. Sangwa,
yes.
Let me just stop you there. I think the quality the sound is terrible. I think podcasts are all about quality of sound, nothing else. We've got good video quality, but the sound is terrible. Let me just see if we can resolve that quickly.
Time is up, time is up. When you're not enough, time is up. For your lies and bluff, time is up, time is up. When you're not enough, time is up. For your lies and bluff. Kanizanu ndizo panda pindu. Anakulira miseu mwatu. Tikufuna chilengede chazo pano. Osati mapoke tanu opindika ndalama. Listen to the cries, they're louder than your lies. You can't silence the truth. It's time for the youth. Time is up, time is up. When you're not enough, time is up. For your lies and bluff, time is up, time is up. When you're
Okay, let's try that. John, please speak. Sorry, we'll be testing while you are live.
Okay. Yeah, I hope you get it right. Yeah, I was explaining that the approach we have taken is born out of the realization that to transform a country, it requires the involvement not only of those elected, but also the active participation of the citizens. And that is why we set out to say, in order to carry out a proper renewal, there has to be a direct involvement of the people. And that is the reason why we deliberately set that figure of 1 million to raise by 31st of December. That is for them to signal their agreement with that kind of approach. And that is why we set that number. And I think it's a new way of trying to do things to remind citizens that things cannot happen without your direct involvement. You have to take part into that in the governance of the country. And this is born out of the provision of the Constitution, in particular Article 43. Citizens are not bystanders in the governance of the country. They are active participants in the governance. I think that's where the idea is coming from. As to the progress, there is steady progress in raising that number. There have been a number of challenges. Some of them, one of them is the political environment itself, which does not allow for open interaction with people. There are people, for example, what we have gathered is that you cannot even meet more than 5 or 6 people to be able to discuss these civic issues without getting permission from the police, which is basically a consequence of this application of the Public Order Act. In an ideal environment, we should have been holding town halls in all the provinces in the country to discuss this issue.
Oh, thank you very much.
But unfortunately, we have to work within the environment that we have. There have been other challenges, but which we are addressing as we go.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me bring in DORIKA Banda. The last time we spoke, I think we profiled you very well, but there have been major development, including you joining the national movement, the movement for national renewal. What has motivated that decision that you should join teams, with John Sangwa and his movement?
Thank you so much, Ambassador. It's a pleasure to be here with my brother. I think we are at a pivotal point in terms of the politics of this country, the history of this country, and the narrative in terms of how we appoint our leaders and hold them accountable and have them feel that they are actually accountable to the electorate, to the Zambian people. The shared values that drew me to the movement for national renewal is a question around our citizenry. Are we truly acting on our rights as citizens? Are we truly holding accountable our leaders? Do we have the mechanisms to be able to hold our leaders accountable? But the fundamental issue for me is we are at the point in this country, I think I called it a tipping point in one of my conversations, where we have lost trust, the people have lost trust in the leadership. We are not acting or feeling like we live in a democracy. I think John earlier, State Council, alluded to the fact of the Gatherings, Public Order Act. They're not obvious things, but they're innately. People are afraid to speak. We need to come back, and hence the renewal for me. It's renewal, it's restoration, it's transformation into a new way of how this country is governed, how leadership at the governing level feels truly accountable to meeting the goals, the promises, the aspirations, the dreams of this country. And that fundamentally is based on a leadership that upholds governance at its highest level, integrity at its highest level, accountability at its highest level. And that requires also on the part of us as citizens, responsibility to ensure that leadership is driving according to the three words that I have just mentioned. And hopefully that also cascades into us as citizens, as a people. As that is why I felt very compelled by the 10 questions that were asked when State Council the movement, and I wanted to be a part of changing the narrative, changing the vision, changing the modus operandi for a better, bigger, bolder Zambia than where we are today.
Oh, thank you very much. Let's go to the major policy statement that was issued this week by the Movement for National Renewal. It says, renewal begins where promises end. It appears everyone is promising heaven in the political scene, but there are some hard facts you've issued here, including that the rebuilding will not be easy and resources may not be available, or may not be adequate to there'll be no quick fixes, in short. Let's begin to speak to this major policy statement. What is it? What are you saying?
Yeah, let's go back. What prompted us to make that statement? The main obligation of the movement right now is the issue of raising that 1 million mark, the number that we have set. But in various conversations, people came back. They said, okay, we hear you over the million, but what are you going to do about these immediate economic and social challenges? Okay? And we didn't want to appear as though we didn't have answers to these questions. We are saying, without departing from our general, our primary goal, which is to raise the 1 million, let us address this policy issue. Okay? Now, the reason we issued this is it is made very clear in the statement that all the time, you can go back to the 1990, invariably political parties make promises about what they are going to do once they are given the opportunity or the privilege to run the affairs of the country. Promises are given, and almost invariably, those promises are broken. Now, we took time to understand why. And our conclusion is that the problem is in Zambia. It's not policy. It is not ideas. Okay? It is likely we have to go back to the cause of our problems as to why we are here and why my sister and I decided to jump into this field, into this area. The reason is this: our systems are broken, our institutions are broken. Okay? So it doesn't matter what policy you come up with, as long as institutions are broken, nothing is going to happen. Okay? And that is why we needed to clarify to the people that in terms of priority, the idea is not just simply about making promises, that given the opportunity to govern, the primary objective, once the movement morphs into a political formation, the primary aim of this country is to sort out the institutions first. Now, we have made it very clear that policies are not self-executing. Policies are ideas. They require people, they require institutions for them to be implemented so that they can benefit the people. Now, until and unless you have the proper institutions, which are currently all broken, what we are trying to do is to address the symptoms as opposed to the problems. I think we have outlined everything. Whatever you talk about, electricity, okay? Load shedding is not a problem. It is a symptom of a broken system. Anything that you come up with, it is underlying that problem. They are broken institutions. Why are the institutions broken? They are broken so that it is easier to loot. It is easier to steal. When institutions are properly run, the chances of people looting and stealing are minimal. Now, the real question for Zambia is the rebuilding of its institution,
Okay, thank you. I've got John Sangwa and DORIKA. We are hosting them today on this auspicious day for a special Sunday interview, what we are calling a double header. John and DORIKA will be discussing first their vision for the country, and this has been guided by a major policy statement that was issued recently. They are asserting that the institutions are broken. They are asserting that Zambia literally has reached its lowest ebb. But look at President Hakainde Hichilema. President Hakainde Hichilema thinks that things are working.
So we urge our citizens that they remain calm. We can see light at the end of the tunnel, and that tunnel is now becoming shorter by the day. As we speak, we now have unprecedented rains in the last maybe 2 decades. And with those rains, yesterday Cabinet was informed that load shedding is likely to begin to diminish by June 2025. This is because the major water catchment areas of northwestern province into the Barotse, plains, and now also the Kafue, flood plains. Water takes 3 months journey to move from Kaleni Hills, from Chavuma, into Victoria Falls, into Kariba, 3 solid months. Water moves very slowly in the plains because it's flat. This water which you see when it rains here in Lusaka, we are going for work at ZNBC. Then you find that water is running fast. It's here in Lusaka. But the water needed to change the electricity situation or the water level situation in the Kariba or Kafue Gorge, upper and lower, or Iteji, moves very slow because once it gets to the plains are flat, so water velocity for overland flow of water is reduced. And that is why the experts have said they have not yet done a full measure because they are waiting for the water. But their projections from their readings at their reading stations in Chavuma and Victoria Falls, and I think there's one in somewhere in the western.
The green one that they're talking about, which is solar or wind, because you have the coal is there, and you should use it to generate your power. The power, they actually said that, Your Excellency, without power there's no growth. No growth without power anywhere. And then when you have power, you will actually unleash growth in the country. When you do that, you talk less when you go out there to campaign to tell people what you've done, because they will see what it is. They will actually feel it. It's not like education where it takes several years before you can see the benefit of it. But this one, once you give power, it gives other things, opportunities, GDP growth, and it will give a lot of disposable income, just like what you mentioned, Your Excellency, saying that, yes, today in Zambia, you are using rain-fed agriculture. So rain-fed agriculture, it means that you are going to do one season. But right now, you go to countries where they are doing 3 crops per season. So if you are going to do 3 crops, it means that something like maize, which you are good at, you'll actually flood the entire African continent with maize. So, but right now, a lot of people, they're importing, maize, African countries. And one of the things that I have to also say, Your Excellency, is that being a landlocked, for example, is actually a big opportunity for you because you are surrounded by 9 countries. So when you do well, and I'm sure the time will come when there will be a race, Your Excellency, because your colleagues that surround you, the 9 of them, when they see how well you are doing, they too. So it will be a race to see who will do best. That is how they are able to grow, the economy of Asia. Because it was a race. Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, yes, so somebody is saying, you look at Thailand, and, when you look at Indonesia, for example, Indonesia, they've opened up their minds, everything, so even with all this, when you look at it, Indonesia's economy, people don't know, is bigger than Saudi Arabia's economy. They are at 1.2 trillion, Saudi Arabia is about 990 billion. And I am a believer that there is nothing that is impossible. So with what you have, I think if the focus is there, you have the right team, which you do, of course, you can see quite a lot of things. I mean, I cannot imagine having Zambia with additional 5,000 megawatts. And I think, Excellency, really, you need to address it, because I remember when we wanted to put up our own plant, we put up, then we realized that we had excess of power. And quickly, the Zambia Power, I think then, I don't know whether they still change their names, they said, no, we'll buy whatever excess power that you have. But, at that time, we wanted to do in some countries to put up power coal, where, asked, no, we don't want to encourage power by coal. But then you can see in UK today, last year they opened up an old mine they didn't touch for 30-something years. And they gave also a new license. And now Germany, in the last 2 years, they have used more coal from South Africa than South Africa. So really, I think all this question about coal, we should use our God-given resources to develop our own this thing. And we are ready to partner with the government to actually, follow this trajectory. You can be rest assured, and that you will have my 100% support in actually, developing the economy here. So it can be a win-win situation, and we'll be very happy and proud to be part of the development of Zambia.
Patrick, even the connection, why don't we use the link?
Not enough time is up for your lies and bluff. We rise, we stand, we fight together for the children, for a better forever. When you kunata pano, we take the rain. Tikonza jiko.
Hello, dear viewers. I wish to apologize. We seem to have a major technical crisis back in Lusaka. Outside broadcasting has its own perils. I've got picture, but I've got terrible sound, and I've got standards. I think there's a quality of standard. And for John and DORIKA, I think we had advertised this for the whole week, and it would be totally injustice. A lot of injustice to what we had planned, that we should have a poor broadcast quality. I personally have seen that I've invested in quality, and I want quality broadcast, just like any other broadcast. So we cannot subject them to poor quality. I may have to end this broadcast. Be patient, but I am being forced to make last-minute decisions because the broadcast quality from the other side, although I've got good picture, I've got terrible sound, and we don't seem to be resolving it. And this program is known not just for quality or for thought and depth. It's also very well known for its quality. And podcast is about sound. It's just not about picture. So I may have to apologize to John and DORIKA and end the broadcast, but let's see what happens.
Kwenyu ndemwe chabe mabanja onanjala mkomo.
The green one that they're talking about, which is solar or wind, because you have the coal is there, and you should use it to generate your power. The power, they actually said that, Your Excellency, without power there's no growth. No growth without power anywhere. And then when you have power, you will actually unleash growth in the country. When you do that, you talk less when you go out there to campaign, to tell people what you've done, because they will see what it is. They will actually feel it. It's not like education where it takes several years before you can see the benefit of it. But this one, once you give power, it gives other things, opportunities, GDP growth, and it will give a lot of disposable income just like what you mentioned, Your Excellency, saying that, yes, today in Zambia, you are using rain-fed agriculture. So rain-fed agriculture, it means that you are going to do one season. But right now, you go to countries where they are doing 3 crops per season. So if you are going to do 3 crops, it means that something like maize, which you are good at, you'll actually flood the entire African continent with maize. So, but right now, a lot of people, they're importing, maize, African countries. And
sorry, I didn't mute my microphone and you could hear me do crisis management. I will end this particular broadcast. I'm being assured that they've resolved the issue of volume, and as you can see from my end, everything is okay. When I play the video of Dangote and everyone, everything is okay. So let me end this broadcast. Just be patient. Let's see if it will work. If it doesn't work, again, we have standards that we have to honor.
Natumfwane mkwai. Nisikulia mabwe.
I'm also aware of the electricity problems that Zambia is facing. But despite the problems that we have with the supply of electricity